Friday gang. Hey y'all, how you doing? It's Dr. Watson. Welcome to Spa Talk. Today we have a special guest. 1 second, we're trying to go live on TikTok. We have a special guest here, y'all.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so she first started. She tried to correct how I say realtor. It's not realtor, y'all. I just like that. It's not realtor. It's realtor. Right?
Yes, it is realtor.
Yes, she's a realtor. Kereen Henry with what company you work for, Kereen?
Keller Williams. I am out of Keller Williams, the Atlanta office, but it's Tucker. It's technically Tucker, but Keller Williams Atlanta Partners.
And she will be joining us today in Spa Talk. We have some amazing questions for her, so y'all log on, y'all follow her. We're gonna announce her phone number at the end, so you single men can call her.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, she's single, y'all. We'll go over some things first. I know something is missing, but we kind of changed up things today in the spa. Instead of doing a full-blown pedicure, we have a bartender.
I'm excited. Right? Yes. I'm excited.
We have a bartender. We don't have a drink. This is like a real girl talk. Some people don't just like pedicures, and that's okay. But we do like the liqueur. Okay?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
we will have a drink with our realtor, Kereen Henry, and we're going to get down to these questions. So we welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I texted her the other day. I was like, girl, what's your drink? Because y'all know I drink Prosecco. That's all I drink because my liquor can only handle so much. So I can't handle the hard liquor. Well, I have been on this lavender gin lately. It's been bomb. So I use this lavender gin. It's called Indigo, and I put a little lavender, and then I use a little club soda. Text me, DM me for the recipe later. But today we are going to make our favorite drink, which apparently is Tito's. Show Tito's. Hey, Tito's, give us a little bartender. Our bartender. Everybody give it up for our bartender. With a splash of lime. With a splash of the lime. We need the lime. We need the lime. And on rocks because we do it fancy. We chilled her cup and we have cube ice. We are fancy today, y'all. So while she's making our drinks, we are going to get started. Welcome, Kereen.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You are so
And you
awesome.
look beautiful as usual.
You do
I'm loving the hair.
You're so beautiful. Thank you. She actually helped us find and locate this building, and the transaction was so smooth. So I want to talk about a little bit how you and I met and we became friends, mostly through my husband, because he taught y'all. He taught everybody. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Give me my drink, girl. So, Dr. Watson. Oh, yes. I love Prosecco. So, if you ever want to send some gifts and tips in that. And she's going to get her drink. You got her drink, or you about to splash some lime? Splash some lime. And then we get her drink. Because we're going to take a sip. We're going to toast before we start and let y'all come on. I know it's y'all lunchtime, and we really appreciate you tuning in. Last week, we had our chiropractor friend. We also had the superintendent and we had the district attorney so far. So we're just lining them up. If you want to go back and watch those videos, you can watch them in BuzzFeed. You can go to our YouTube page, which is usually under the link, or you can come back on Instagram or TikTok and just click the video and watch it. So we have a drink. Here we go. All right, Kereen, let's toast. Enjoy. And we need a little bit of music. Give us a little bit of
something.
How's that? How'd she do?
She did good.
A little bit more lime.
No, she did good.
All right. So we're going to jump right into it. So how did we meet? Do you remember?
I do remember.
Okay, tell us about it.
Okay, so I had some people out of the Philippines cold calling for expired leads. That's how we met. Well, that's not how me and you met, but that's how me and Dewani met.
I've never heard this story.
Really? So they were cold calling for properties that had went expired, and he happened to be on that list. And the guy from the Philippines talked to Dewani, and Dewani said, oh, well, I don't really know, but she can come out and take a look at the property and see. And I went out there, and he said, well, I'm not leaving my agent. I'm loyal to my agent. He said, so no, you cannot take this listing. He's like, I'm going to put it back with the client I had. He's like, but you can stay in touch.
Wow. What property was that, babe?
That was a property in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
The one beside the golf course.
So before the market got really, before the market got a little shady, we did a couple of buy, sell, flips, however. That's how you say it. We flipped a couple of houses. And so, okay, so go from there.
Yeah, so it was from that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to keep in touch because he's an investor and you want to keep in touch with investors that are going to continue selling more properties. Even though he said he was sticking with his agents. I was like, okay, I'm wear this investor down a little bit. You know, and, through the wear down process, we became friends. And he's Jamaican, I'm Jamaican, so we had some stuff in common. And then I met you, and you just kind of walked in, and you were just so like me, like just friendly, like, hi, give me a hug. And I'm like, I really like her. And like the first interaction was just so positive. And I hope that that's what I give to other people. That interaction was just first time meeting someone. It's just like, hey, girl, how are you? Girl. And I just love that first interaction. So that's how we all met.
I am a girl's girl. Like my husband, he talks to everyone, and I am not like the wife that is like, who calling you? What? I am very secure in my love and my relationship, and I am a girl's girl. I love women, especially boss women like Kereen. She is a boss, and she is so awesome. So that's how we met. Isn't that a beautiful story?
That is
all because of my husband don't stop running his mouth.
Because of the fact that he was talking to somebody from the Philippines, though.
I know.
He talked to anybody.
He talked to anybody.
He was from the Philippines, just talking.
I'm telling you, Dewani answer all, the calls that you block, Dewani answers them. But, I'm glad he did.
I'm glad he did too.
When he told me about you, he was just like, I got this realtor, she bombed, she Jamaican. I said, is she bombed because she's a realtor? I said, realtor, y'all saw that? Realtor, or is she bombed because she's Jamaican? My husband said bombed because she's Jamaican, y'all. So when he said she moved to the top of his list. Even when we started searching for this property, he was like, I got somebody. She's everything. So thank you.
I think it's the aggressive personality too. In this business, you do have to be aggressive, follow up, build relationships. I think that that's something that I'm really good at. So when you tell me something, I'm continuous to keep searching, keep following up, just kind of staying in touch. Now I'm zoned in on that, but I do have a team, so it makes it easier. I have an assistant, I have some helpers in the office, some showing assistants. So it makes it easier for me to kind of stay on top of things.
That just means bomb because you have assistants. I know a lot of realtors, they don't have assistants. Okay, so what inspires you to become a realtor?
I like looking at houses, really, but I started off as an investor. So I was in Cleveland, and we were making a lot of money in the collections world. And so I started buying houses and kind of fixing them and flipping them up with groups in our office because we had so much money. But we didn't really need to do that because that's when we were buying houses for about $6,000, $10,000. Yeah, it was back in those days. So that got me into real estate as an investor. And I moved to Atlanta and I started investing again. And during the pandemic, I got stuck into this new construction. And I just we couldn't get permits passed. The contractors all said they had COVID. It was so many different issues. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I really just like the feeling I get from working with buyers and sellers. So I sell their home, they're super excited. Thank you so much for helping me get out of this. It was a hard process. Or when I help them buy a home and they walk into the house and they're just like, oh my God, this is my place. Like that feeling is what I really love. And so I kind of backed away from investing and just kind of became a realtor, a full-time realtor.
I know when I bought my house, it made me feel, when I walked in there, I mean, you just know and to watch someone, just like as a physician, when you make someone feel better, they want to give you all the glory and say, oh my God. And it makes you feel like you're completing and fulfilling your purpose.
Yes.
When they're happy. So, second question. What's the biggest mistake first-time buyers make?
Biggest mistake? Not getting an inspection. Honestly, working with a newer agent too. I will say when I was new, I made a lot of mistakes. I used a Joe Blow inspector just because it was friend of a friend who was also just starting out. And we missed mold. We missed black mold. I used another inspector that was super new that he had in his contract that you had 7 days to kind of file an insurance claim against his company. But that at that particular time, you don't really know. It's 3 weeks out after the inspection before you move into the home and find out that the inspector missed something. So he protected himself, but he didn't protect my clients. But I was so new, I didn't know that these are things that are important. I'm thinking an inspector is an inspector. So as a first-time home buyer, I think that you definitely should use an experienced agent. if you've bought a lot of homes, then you can run the risk of using a newer agent because you are more knowledgeable. Some of my higher price deals when I was new, they read through those contracts better than I did. So they taught me a little bit more about, hey, you need to take these contract classes, you need to do this, because I was new. And they knew it, but they were more knowledgeable because they had, 4 or 5 houses under their belt.
I guess that differentiates you from, because a lot of people obtain their license, their realtor license, but a lot of them are unsuccessful. And what I heard you say is that not only do you take pride in making people feel a certain way, but you take pride in yourself and educating yourself to get to the next level. So that's important, because I know a lot of my friends have become realtors and they're not successful. And you want to use them, but they're not following up. They don't know how to read contracts. They don't know those things.
Yeah.
So that's important.
And you got to, and the contracts change every year. So if you don't understand certain guidelines, you will mess up. Yeah.
So that's important.
And you got to, and the contracts change every year. So if you don't understand certain guidelines, you will mess up. The contracts changes, and each instructor also teaches the contract differently. So you want to go to different instructors, so maybe 2 times a year to go over the same contract just to make sure that you are knowledgeable.
So does Keller Williams, right? Do they offer all of that?
They do offer the classes, but I suggest going to another place and getting it as well. So different schools also offer the contracts class, and you get CE credits for it. So you might as well bounce around, because when it's time for you to renew your license, you have all the CE credits you need because you took all of these classes throughout the years.
So what makes you stand out? Like, why are you, I know your relationship, but why are you so successful versus the normal or I guess average realtor? What makes Kereen stand out? Because you do stand out. You do.
Thank you.
You do. So what is it that if you were talking to a younger person in your profession, what advice would you give them?
I personally would say be honest across the board. I think that realtors are starting to look like salespeople, car salesmen. We're starting to get that bad rep where they're just trying to sell me this house. They're just trying to sell me this car. But when you go into these houses and you know that this is not right for your buyer, you need to say it. You need to speak up and be honest. This is not right because of this, this, and this. I'm not just trying to get a commission from you. I want you to send me referrals. I want you to trust me. I want you to call me back later on and ask me different questions. So I'm not just trying to, finish this transaction and move on to the next one. I'm trying to make sure that you are fully comfortable. I have a client now that I just talked about, and she keeps going to look at houses with stairs. And I was like, listen, you are 70 years old. And she's like, well, I think I can do it. I said, when are you going to buy the next house? No more stairs. I'm not doing this with you. And she told her son, and her son was like, why are you looking at houses with stairs? And he called me and said, thank you. Because why would I want to put somebody? So I treated her like I would want somebody to treat my mom. Like, I'm not buying. You can't buy a house with stairs. You can. Inevitably, it's up to you what you would like to do. But my suggestion is, let's think about how this is going to look 10 years from now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm 40 years old and this right knee. I don't know. These men. And I have 3 floors and they all have stairs. And I keep thinking this is supposed to be my forever home. I'm gonna have to build a shed. Me and Dwayne gonna have to live in a shed, y'all.
You put an elevator. Can y'all got a place to put an elevator? It's like the closet's got to be kind of. You got a closet.
Rolling like that. How much an elevator cost?
Or that little chair that goes on the stairs. The little chair that goes on the stairs, and you just go out there like a wheel.
A double shoe so we can ride together, right? All right. So, what parts of your job people don't see or understand?
The part of our job is, I think they talk so much about our commissions, but they don't talk about the clients that we showed 50 houses to that changed their mind because their uncle said now it's not a good time. We just wasted all that time and we don't get paid until we get to the closing table. The listings that we'll take, and they say, oh, well, I want to list my house at this part. And I don't do this anymore, but I used to when I was newer. I'll take the higher price listing because I just need a listing. Now, if you're not agreeing to the price that I feel like it's going to sell at, I'm not taking it because I literally will put $2,000 into marketing this property. And 90 days later, you're going to tell me I'm not doing my job, fire me, and then go to the next agent that's going to continue to cause you to drop the price. Because now you're like, okay, maybe Kereen was right. But you're too prideful to come back to me, who I've already spent $2,000 on marketing this property. You're going to drop the price with this newer agent. So with that is, so it's we lose a lot of money in the process showing houses, the wear and tear on our cars. And they just don't buy, or listing these properties and they don't sell. We don't recoup any of that money back.
Man, that's horrible. I need a deposit. I need some sort of deposit or something that I can put aside because that's a lot of money.
It is.
Marketing is expensive.
It is. And I market a lot.
Yes.
I had people out of the Philippines calling to work. I had to pay them by the hour.
It's only like $2. So.
I think it was like $5. He spoke decent. If you speak decent English, you charge more.
Wow, man.
So he cost more because he spoke decent English. At least enough to get some people. There was a couple people that I still talk to.
I had a guy that I hired out of the Philippines to do my notes. It didn't work out, y'all. It didn't work out.
Really?
It didn't.
You had to hire the right ones. I have 2 now, and they are amazing.
Maybe I need to go back.
I think it's how you hire them and making sure that you're detailed in what you really want. Mm-hmm. And then also, it's like how you weed through them. And now they have this, it depends on where you hire to from, because now they have on the site that I use where it grades them. So it'll tell you like this person is a 97% match to your job description.
Well, that's hot because I used a company, a medical, this is off topic, but I used a medical company and but I'm glad it worked for you. Yeah. All right. So last question before we get to like real girl talk. I know that's what y'all want to hear. We got our drinks, we got the fire in the background. I'm gonna need a refill in a minute, bartender.
Yes.
So the last question, as far as real estate or anything else you want to talk about, because this is for you. So we may not have covered all of the questions, but one of the questions we talked about, could you tell us what was your hardest transaction and why?
My hardest transaction was a transaction that was a referral. He already had his own lender and he wanted to buy this $3 million house. And so the seller said, okay, we're buying this $3 million house. I need $100,000 in earnest money for this house. So we put down $100,000. We're under contract. Everything's good. We're working with his lender. I called the lender. Hey, they want to do a 30-day close. Is that okay with you? Here are all of the restrictions of this offer. The lender said, oh, that's fine. I can do it. I don't know this lender, though. He came with the buyer.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's my brother. He's going to look out for me. Everything's fine. In our contracts, it has a stipulation where it basically says, okay, a finance contingency, where after 21 days, if you're denied for this, you lose all of your earnest money.
So that $100,000?
Yes. So after 21 days, if the lender does not deny the loan, you lose all of your earnest money. So he would run the risk of losing his earnest money. So fast forward, I'm under contract. Everyone's praising me online. Like, she's got a $3 million contract under contract. She's about to sell this house. And it's the 24th day that we're under contract. And the lender comes to me and he's just like, I'm going to need more time. I said, but I talked to you a week ago and you said we're fine. Well, you don't understand that this is a jumbo loan. He's yelling at me. I gave you all of the information that you needed to get this. You said that you could do it. Mm-hmm. And so I go to the agent. I said, hey, we're going to need additional time. The lender can't do this. And then the agent said, okay, I'll talk to my client. So they came back and they said, all right, we will extend this transaction 30 days if you give us another $100,000 in earnest money. So it's either we lose the first $100,000 right now because we're past the finance contingency, or extend it and give another $100,000 and hopefully the lender can close. So I was like, okay. Talked to my client. My client was like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. We'll send the second $100,000. Sent that to the closing attorney because the closing attorney is holding the earnest money. Now we got the additional 30 days. All right, I know this lender can do this. We're good. It's about a week before we're supposed to close. The lender comes back again and says, I cannot close. And I was like, well, what are you? And he's just like, there's all different types of rules that we have to go through, and it's a jumbo loan. I said, but you told me
we were good.
We were good.
30 more days.
So then I had a friend, it's so weird because he was a new lender out of Ohio, and he was like, I can close this deal for you in 2 weeks. And so at this particular point, I had to talk my client into switching from his so-called brother to this new lender that I'm unsure of for 2 weeks. And so I went to the agent and I said, hey, we're going to need additional time. And she was just like, absolutely not. So now my client's going to lose $200,000. And I was like, and I was like, well, I found a new lender. Can you talk to this lender? And I'm calling my broker. My broker's like, basically, there's nothing you can do. You pretty much have to beg this woman. And she was rude. She was like real nasty. Like, I can't talk right now, click. Like that type of person, that type of agent. And I'm just like begging her, like, can you please work this out for me? Is there anything we can do? Finally, she comes back and she says, all right, I will extend this an additional 3 weeks.
Don't tell me
another $100,000. And this time, wired directly to the seller's bank account. I went back to my client. I said, hey, we are going to have to do another $100,000 wired towards.
Okay, pause. On the break. What? Okay, I don't need to know. What does this client do? You just have. Is that even? Can we even say? Like, this person has to be a professional athlete or some sort of old money.
No, he's a businessman. So he owned a couple businesses out of DC. And that's what he did. So
after this,
but but it is legal businesses. But if I tell, they'll probably know. So, but he owns a couple businesses out of DC.
Okay. Okay. So call him up.
Yep. So he wired the $100,000 directly into the seller's account, and my new lender was able to close in 2 weeks.
Praise
and
the Lord.
We moved on. And I said, never again. And I always talk about that story because that's why business partnerships are so important. And knowing that partner, whoever it is, that inspector that I ran into issues with in the beginning. And I know that a lot of agents aren't getting a lot of business, but in order to learn, it's not even just going to classes. It's the more transactions you do. So I wouldn't know the issues about the inspectors. I wouldn't know the issues about the lenders had I not did so many transactions. So the only way to really learn as much as you can is just to do more closings. But in the end, it all worked out.
Praise God.
And I would say if I am speaking to an agent or somebody who wants to be an agent is not doing business right now, I would tell them also to get on a team. I know it's not as cute because you're getting a significant pay cut, but some money is better than no money. Getting leads. A lot of people are going through Zillow leads. I don't do Zillow leads because they take a good portion of your check. However, some money is better than no money, and it gives you the experience you need to be successful in the future. So the more closings, just think about the knowledge that you're getting by doing all of these closings. And then after a certain period of time, all of the people that they refer to you because you did such a great job, that's all your commission.
They're going to keep cycling your name.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were not a realtor, as my grandmother say, mature, what would you be?
I would want to be an attorney. I just go argue with people all day.
I thought about that. I would love. I'm watching
this
show. What's the show, baby? What's the show?
The Lincoln Lawyer.
I love the Lincoln Lawyer. Yes. I would love to be the Lincoln Lawyer. He be working a lot of hours though.
He is bad.
I know, but then they be coming to his house. That's the only thing.
Then they gonna try to kill me.
And so I get he tore up his house. And he got a daughter. That's the only part. But I want to go to court and argue and win for my client and come out and speak to the press.
It's more about speaking to the press. It's not really.
That's the part I want to do.
Yes, I won this case for mine.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That would be cute. It'd be cute on TV.
It would.
I didn't even think about that, but I think I would be bombed.
I think yes, you'll be bombed. We should go do that. Let's take.
You should be a real estate lawyer, and I should go and be a malpractice attorney.
Let's do it. We got time. What else are we doing right now?
Any questions from the audience before we move on to girl talk? Because we about to be in her business. Yes, we have a few questions. Oh, look at y'all.
Wait, with the girl talk questions wasn't on the.
Oh no, the girl talk questions are not on here. So stick around.
Oh God, so this is gonna be like a shocking questions, or because I'm not prepared now.
Who knows what the car is cold? All right, what are the real estate questions?
All right, first real estate question we have. Someone asked, how long have you been in real estate and how did you get started?
I've been in real estate for 17 years, and I got started as an investor out of Cleveland. So I was buying homes when the market was amazing. Well, still amazing, but amazing in a different way. So I was buying homes for like $6,000, $10,000 out of Cleveland. And so as a real estate agent now, or realtor, I have been licensed for 8.5 years.
All right, second question. Someone said, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in your career so far?
The biggest lesson would be what I said earlier, is really getting on a team to get that information, that education, the most closings as possible. And just understanding that, looking at it long term. I think we're in this microwave society where we want everything so fast, and we see these checks and we're like, hey, no, I want that whole $10,000 to go to me. And the most important thing you can do as you get older is get the experience that you need to be successful. So getting on that team, getting those leads, and just understanding, hey, right now I got to take 50% as opposed to a whole 100%. But 3 years from now, when we think long term, you'll be getting all of those checks and bigger checks to yourself, and you won't have to go through that process all over again. But a lot of people just aren't becoming successful because they want all of the money to themselves. And we got to learn. It's either you're going to go to school and learn, or you're going to learn in the hard knocks of real estate streets.
I think I read to learn in school, y'all.
No, they don't teach you enough in school. All of the information that they give you, they can't
school you on life experiences.
Right. I had a client the other day. They were doing a HELOC on a property, and they tore the house down.
The whole house frame.
Yeah, because they wanted to do the HELOC to build a new property, but there's no there's no collateral now because there is no house.
That is so retarded. Who gave them that advice?
But now I gotta add that to my disclosures when I first talk to a client that wants to do a refi or something of that, because who knows? These are things that just happens over time that people don't think about. I had a client the other day. I was on the seller side. They bought a car. The initial mortgage pool didn't pull up the fact that they bought the car, so they thought they were okay. 2 days before closing, it popped up on their credit. Their DTI now is different, so they can no longer afford this home. So their earnest money is gone. They can't buy this house, but they got a $1,200 car note.
That's dumb as hell.
That is dumb.
Let me tell you, I've owned my practice for 9-10 years, and you guys got to do better with your money management. Like, there is nothing that is so flashy that I have to put myself and my family in debt. Like, my car is paid off. We just made our last payment on my
car is paid off too,
and I don't want a new one.
I don't.
It could clank a clank.
I'm running it into the ground.
The ground.
I gotta be on the side of the road. Like, I can't do this no more, y'all.
I'm running so deep that Jesus himself got to say, baby, it's enough.
Right.
Like, y'all have to be careful how y'all spend y'all money. Like, y'all are living out of your means. My husband and I, we live on one income.
That's amazing.
We live on one income. So a lot of y'all are going through this government shutdown, which my husband's military. So he's part of the government shutdown. He's retired. But being that our finances are like, we're not crazy, it's not affecting us because we've lived off one income. So,
and that's not nothing that our community typically does. That is our lighter counterparts.
Yes.
They live off of one income. I don't really hear too many people that look like us living off of one income.
One income. We when we got this, my husband is very like flashy. So when we bought this is kind of, I don't know if you have any more questions before I go on. So when we bought our house, he wanted to get something bigger and grander. And I love him. Look, he's so cute, y'all. And handsome. He's handsome, sexy, all of the above. But I was like, no. We got a house. We had a budget. He pushed it to the max. But we can't. So now our house is like in 6 years, I'm 40, our house will be paid off, right? Our cars are paid off. it's a nice house. Like, why buy this big old mansion when in 10 years our girls will be gone and we just looking there living at each other in this mansion? No.
It's so crazy. Even in my industry, like we used to have these people that it's their first house and they want to go out and buy a $600,000 house. And then the taxes go up next year or insurance goes up and now they can't afford this house. I said, why not just buy something smaller that you can afford right now, pay it off, and be okay. Like I bought my house back in 2011, so it's paid off, but it's a small 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Like that's the house. I always run back to the house. I moved to the condo, ran back to this 2-bedroom. It's paid off. It's quaint, but it's mine. Can't nobody kick me out of it, and that's the thing that we need to start focusing on to build wealth. Now I can sell that property, take all of the money and put it towards the next house. But I live beneath my means in certain time periods when I'm not living in the city. Living in this, when I moved to the city, I was going through.
You have to experience that, right? Like you make your own money. You have to give yourself a treat, and that was your treat.
And that was my treat. It was an expensive treat. It was but it was a treat.
But it put you in the city. Now she's I don't want to mess up the name, y'all. She is the president of a golf club.
Yes, it's an athletic club, Ladies Athletic Club of Atlanta. So I'm one of the founders of Ladies Athletic Club of Atlanta, and I love it there. So we have a lot of fun.
You guys should all come out. A little bit about that.
So we are a private athletic community. We're more of a sisterhood. So a lot of the ladies, we kind of get together and I want to say they get in their little cliques, their little sisterhood cliques, where we have the tennis group that loves to play tennis together. So they play tennis 3 to 4 times a week. We have the golf group that practices together on a regular basis. They go to their golf tournaments together. We have the yoga group, the Pilates. We have the book club where they pick a book. Yes, they pick a book every month. Yes.
Go ahead.
So they read a different book. They vote on a book every month. We have a financial advisor that jumps in there and talks about our finances. She gets on every Friday. She does a Zoom call with the ladies trying to help them with their finances. So there are a lot of different pockets within the athletic group that makes it a sisterhood. So when they get together, they feel whole.
That's awesome.
So it's a lot of different things. What else do we have? We have a moms group where the moms will go do a mommy and me day in the park. What else? Yeah. That's a lot of different
things. Can you give us your Instagram following page on that group so the ladies can start to follow and maybe participate in some of those activities?
Yes, it is Ladies Athletic Club of Atlanta on Instagram and TikTok. And our website is Ladies Athletic Club of Atlanta.
Awesome. All right, we're about to get her business, y'all. We have a question. Okay. So
you're talking.
Business.
Oh, God.
All right. Someone asked if they pay off their interest on a house, will that reduce the amount of the time to purchase the home?
What?
They said if I pay off my interest on my house, will that reduce the amount of the time to purchase my home?
So
it will. I'm thinking what they're saying is, as far as, because when they see it on their balance sheet, it shows so much interest per payment, and they're trying to pay that off, but you're still going to accrue interest over time. So I think the best thing you want to do if you want to pay it off is to throw some extra money per month to it as much as you can to shorten that time period. And don't refinance for another 30 years, because a lot of times people will refinance, but then they refinance for an additional 30 years. So I'm thinking that's what they're trying to say, because they see that.
If they just pay the interest, I don't think that monthly payment goes just towards the interest.
It doesn't.
So I think that's what they're saying.
You should pay towards the principal. So when you put an additional $1,000 or something per month on your payment, that goes directly to the principal. So there is no interest on that $1,000 now because you paid it in advance. Yeah, pay to the principal.
Yeah, my husband and I, every year we try to pay like an extra payment or two. And that helps us. So,
it matters.
Yeah, it matters. I think in our home we only owe like 100 and something thousand. Because we do that every year. We throw more money at it. I know.
And now they're building a pool, so we're about to have fun.
Yeah, we're building a pool, y'all, which we got a key lock for and we properly use.
You didn't tear the house down?
No. We did not tear the house down. We got a HELOC for our pool. So, I can tell you, I was against it. My husband is, he has this brain that just works with finances better than me. I am a hoarder of money, and he is a spender. Let's move it here and there. So I fought him against the HELOC for years because I have this fear, and it comes from trauma.
Yeah.
Like when you grow up in a household, like I grew up in a single parent household where we moved from house to house to house to house to house to house. I think, and it's none of my mom, my mom's single parentship. They went up on rent. We had to move. So I think I went to 4 different high schools, 3 or 4 different middle schools, and about 12 different elementary. Yeah, we moved. So that comes from trauma. So when my husband and I bought the house, I have this thing that I'm trying to unlearn. Therapy helps. The things like of losing my foundation and losing my stability for my kids. So when he like, I can lose my house.
Right.
It's I think to the pits of hell. I think of the worst thing that can happen. So it took some of that unlearning, like, baby, it's only $100,000. We will not
only. Now she's talking about him. Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
She been brainwashed.
I know.
Twice.
This is only $100,000. I'm like, okay, so he talked me into it. And we have a pool, and when I tell you, like I say, I'm not moving. I'm not going to spend more money. We got an interest rate of like 2.75. That's unheard of. So that house got to literally split in half and fall into a sinkhole before.
Hey, I can still get you guys that interest rate. I just want you guys to know. 404-2101. I can still get you.
She's not here. All her yes, get that interest rate. So we finally got a pool, and Kereen's gonna come over and celebrate.
Yes.
All right. Any more
questions? Wait, I want to say
no,
but I do have trauma from that too, and it's different because my grandmother bought houses in Ohio. So when I was living in Ohio, she had several houses. And she met this man that she was in love with that didn't love her, and she pulled out a lot of the money, refinanced, to help him go fund his lifestyle. And so now I'm like so protective. They're like, well, you can refi and go do this. You can refi and go do that. But my trauma is like, I can't do it.
No.
Because my grandmother lost everything, and now she has nothing. And she had all of these properties, buildings, and everything.
Isn't it funny how trauma works?
Mm-hmm.
It really, I won't refi.
I'm so afraid, and it's so like afraid. I could pull that money out and do something, buy another house, but this house has to stay free and clear. I'll do something else in another house. I have to have a place that I can run to because my grandmother has nothing now, and she had so many properties. I'm like, this is not gonna be me.
That's your foundation. Like that's what you can run to, but it takes some unlearning and trust, right? Like, don't be stupid in these streets. But I'm like you, that HELOC took a lot because we had the 2 options. We had the option of refinance and pull the money out, I think, right? Or pulling out.
The HELOC though. HELOC is better.
I think that was one option, pulling some money out, and then HELOC. And we've been in this house 8 years, and
but see, she wasn't married. Y'all are married. This was a random man.
But even some married women, I'm liking this conversation because it's taking us right on into relationships. Because listen, y'all, I know it's supposed to end, but it's too good. And I think y'all, tell me if y'all like that 12:30 time instead of that 12 o'clock start time, because I feel like we're getting more followers with the 12:30 time. And then we can lead on. Me and Kereen, we go way back. She called me by my first name, not my doctor. Y'all can't call me by that. But yes, so like women trusting. I'm glad you're here. Women trusting men, not with their finances and falling into that trap, because these Atlanta streets be crooked.
It is. It's very crooked.
So what are some ways we can protect ourselves from that? Because I get patients all the time that have lost everything because they trusted somebody they loved. So as realtor, I'm gonna say it like that, what are some ways women or people in general, because there's some nasty women out there that can protect themselves?
I just say, when love is involved, it's really tricky, but you do need to have those contracts and that paperwork, and don't pull out any money if you're not married. You do not have ties to this person when it goes left. So if you are not married, I don't suggest refinancing, doing these men need to figure it out. At this age, this big age, You know, it's sad to say you're on your own. Like, I will give you information and advice, but I'm not going to put myself in a deficit for somebody who's not my husband.
Yes.
And, you know, and then once you get with a husband, you gotta have one that has discernment, and you need to have discernment, knowing to pick the right person, and don't just pick someone because you're single. You know, don't just kind of, a lot of women I see are running into these relationships because they just don't want to be single. And get you some girlfriends, get you a cat, a dog, I don't know, but find the happiness in yourself.
Yes.
I'm so happy by myself. Sometimes I'm like, I want to find a man and a husband, but I am very comfortable being alone, where I'm not in this desperate situation where tomorrow I have to go, hurry up and find this man because my clock is ticking. No, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I have a great group of friends. I have a lot of family around me. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. If it doesn't happen, it just wasn't for me. I'm going to be successful at work. I'm going to be happy in other areas.
Yeah, you have to love yourself.
Yes.
Even before Dewani and I got together, it was a time where I went through a bad relationship where I was pregnant and I ended up having a miscarriage. But while I was pregnant, one of the guy I was dating, was pregnant and I ended up having a miscarriage. But while I was pregnant, one of the guy I was dating, we were not married. And I think I finished paying it off a long time. And before I knew it, I was big and grown, and I had to pay off $22,000 because of interest. And that was a lesson learned. You know, I would never, never, ever until I met my husband. But during that time of hurt and pain and trauma, I had to learn to love myself. I had to go to the movies by myself. I had this funny. My friends would laugh. I had this alarm. I would call it the red alert alarm. When they start walking towards me, if I got any inkling of them being being like somebody I used to date, I was like, alarm, red. Now y'all say red flag.
Right, red flag, yes.
I used to say alarm. Like, I had to date myself. I had to learn myself. Love to learn myself. I had to go out and sit at a bar by myself. You know, I had to learn that. So when Dewani did approach me, I was ready to allow him. And it was some hesitation, but it was like, okay, so I had my list, and these are the expectations, and this is what you have to do. I remember when we started dating, he like you say, that trauma, like I lived with my ex. So when I did finally to say enough is enough and I left, I didn't have a couch, I didn't have furniture, I didn't have a pot to piss in. I had my clothes and I had a car that I overpaid for because, you know, it was my first car and interest. I had an apartment, I think it was $1,200, a little townhouse that I lived in, and it was in the hood. The place was called Players Club. That is, yes.
Yeah, are you serious?
The condominium. It was a whole bunch of condos called Players Club in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Players Place. That's even worse.
With a Players Place.
I lived, and I remember when I met Dewani, he was like, we can move together, we can consolidate,
Oh, so wait, you guys met in Florida?
In Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys were always in Atlanta this entire time. So you guys met in Florida and moved to Atlanta together.
We met in Florida, moved to DC, Maryland, and then Atlanta.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we met, Dewani was like, you can move with me. Dewani had this fly apartment. And I was like, man, he got new furniture. His mattress feel good. But I was like, hell no, I won't go. If you love me, you move in with me. And then if you decide that you want to leave, I'm not at step one no more.
That is, you know what? I never thought about it that way. I was like, I'll move in with you. It's gonna make life easier, and I can just bounce whenever I'm ready. But that is a good way to think. Yeah.
You have to rebuild. Okay, so what about me? Kereen, are we single? She kind of alluded to it, y'all.
We are definitely single.
How's the dating world out there? Let's talk.
You know, I'm just getting back into dating, so I'm newly single. Dang, I've been on a couple dates. It's fun. I think it's fun getting back outside, getting my restaurant list back up. Because I feel like, well, it's different. You guys are married. So I feel like sometimes when you're in a relationship, you don't really go to all of the restaurants that you typically would go to when you're single. When you're dating around, it's like, okay, 2-3 different restaurants a week. You know, I'm going at this new place, that new place. So now I'm getting back into some new restaurants. I have one that I saw yesterday that I want you guys to go to. I'm going to send it to you.
Ooh, I love me a good restaurant.
It is cute.
I still have a list that you sent me. So
Last time? But now I'm rebuilding my list now because I was a time where I wasn't, going out to as many restaurants as myself. I don't know. It's fun. It's different. I think I'm more, known now. So it is a little.
Does that cause a little, because you don't want anybody to have preconceived notions of you. So that prejudgment, is that kind of difficult?
I think it's hard because you want to make sure you date a guy that's secure, and then they all say they're secure until you go out and someone's like, hey, there goes Kereen. And I'm so friendly. I'm that person that's like, oh my God, give me a hug. And, do we stop doing that and not being myself to make sure that this guy is okay? I don't know. So that's what I'm going to be dealing with now, is just kind of take me to Alpharetta on a date. Or Powder Springs.
Ain't nothing in Powder Springs.
Douglasville.
It's like being Beyonce. Everybody know you're Beyonce. And then...
But it's only in Atlanta. I wish I was Beyonce. When I'm going to get there.
You are Beyonce. We are Beyonce energy.
We are Beyonce energy.
We are. Okay, well, what are you looking for? Tell the world. And then we're going to log off and let y'all go back to work.
Oh, what am I looking for? That was our girl talk. This is it.
I mean...
We do got to go.
I got patients at 1:30, y'all. I can see all day and drink.
I got to go back to work too.
What? No, we don't have patience and we don't have to go back to work.
We don't have to go back to work. Today is our free day.
Today is our free day. After this, we're logging off.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you looking for?
I want someone who's kind, who is doing their own thing, who is already in a place. I don't know how to say it, like successful in their own right, whatever it is that they're doing in their world. And I would like to come and add to it, like not you just coming into my world and trying to control what I do. So I want someone who's kind of, I don't know, I gotta think about it. Of course, I like them tall, dark, and handsome. So like 6'5". 6'5".
I mean,
Yeah,
you've been unrealistic,
big.
but we're gonna put it out there.
The last few guys I dated was 6'5" and up.
So maybe you need to date somebody different. Little 6-footer.
I'll be sending you to Danielle for approval.
Yes, I told the last one right around.
Oh God! Yes, I do like a corporate guy. So I'm thinking like somebody more corporate, maybe an entrepreneur, but I do like someone who is a little bit more stable than my career. So there's a balance there. So if he is, a doctor, an attorney, in tech, something where he has a salary, or because my income is up and down. So how are we going to make this work with my income fluctuating as it is? So I do like a more stable career person as a partner. That's what I'm looking for.
And we're looking for someone who, my thing is, when I dated my grandmother, was so, I love her. Her name's Ola B. She's been married 7 times, y'all. That's a different show. 7 times. She's with the Lord. Okay. But Ola B, pretty much, she was very active in my life. She always told me her best advice. My grandmother was married 7 times, but you better believe that when they all died, because they all died, they left a fortune. She always told me, find a man that loves you more.
Absolutely.
Find a man, not where it's like weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been in a relationship where he loved me way more than I love him, and he trying to find rings, and I'm like, dude, I'm dating 2 other people. But just a little bit more, just a tad bit more. Me and my husband talk about this, so it's no secret. Like, I know Dewani loves me just a smidget more, but that's what we're called for in the Bible, right? Like, he's called to love you more, and you're called to respect him. That number 1, and number 2, my grandmother, which she was wrong. When I first told her about Dewani, she was like, you need to date a doctor. And I could not figure out. She was like, what he do? He ain't good enough. I'm like, my husband's good enough. I'm like, Grandma, people stand up when my husband walks in the room. I'm like, he's good enough. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to make like all this money, because some of you guys fall short because they feel like they have to meet you where you are.
Yeah, no, it's not. I just like stability. Stability, and I do feel like my world is just so up and down and crazy. So I would rather to come home and have someone that has a stable career. They come home at a certain time. They're working out. They can keep me in, some type of structure.
Yeah.
Because my world is so unstructured. That's not even a word, but it's not structured at all. So I love to have that partner that is a balance, that has structure in the home to help me kind of adapt to that instead of us both being all over the place.
I agree. So we need structure, y'all.
We need structure.
Stability. We need a Christian man that loves the Lord.
Yes.
And can lead our household, lead us. We're not leading him. We're not doing 50-50. So if y'all are talking about 50-50, I don't even do 50-50. I don't know who to pay. If my husband get hit by a car, I'll have to figure it out. I don't know who to pay. I'll call Kereen. Can you help me find a mortgage company?
I'm signing for him.
Because I don't know. Like, we're just not taking bombs. Would you date someone with children?
Yes.
1 to 2, stable, healthy, co-parenting relationship.
Yes.
Okay? We're not having 4, 5, 6 from Shaquanda and them. We want some stability. Okay? Right?
Yes.
Am I just speaking too much?
No, seriously, we want stability. But I would date a guy with kids, without kids.
Good. All right, so tell them where to find you, Kereen.
You can find me on Instagram at KereenHenry. And on my website, it's KereenHenry.com. And I can be reached at 404-210-1674.
All right. So I am definitely we'd like to thank you. We hope you enjoyed Spa Talk.
Yes.
The liquor was top notch. Our bartender, Bill, and we may throw some things at y'all. Y'all gotta be ready. Y'all gotta stay your toes. You never know what's gonna happen, who we're gonna have on. So I'm gonna tag her. I'm gonna put her information. If you have anything that has to do with real estate, she is awesome. And also Ladies Athletic Club. If you're interested in Ladies Athletic Club, there is a membership fee, but it is worth it, right?
It is definitely worth it. We have 400 plus ladies that are saying it's worth it.
Yeah, and we're also going to create a discount code for Ladies Athletic Club.
We can do that.
We will get that to Kereen so y'all can get y'all spa treatments. Only for Ladies Athletic Club. Y'all trying to be a member. All right, so we love y'all. Remember, love God, love life, love yourself, and just be kind. Be a good person. Peace out. All right, y'all know I have to figure this out. Boom.